watching 6 WATE TV Knoxville. Coverage you can count on. This is 6 Eyewitness News, 11 at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Brennan Robinson. Yvette is off tonight. Investigators from the Federal Aviation Administration are trying to find out why a small plane crashed on takeoff in North Knoxville this afternoon. It sent 3 people to the hospital. 1 required surgery. The story from Scott Withers.
Knox County investigators combed through the wreckage. Scott Withers, 6 Eyewitness News.
And it could be a week before we figure out what went wrong. Well, this is not the first time a small plane has crashed after taking folks home from a UT game. In October 1997, a Cherokee Piper crashed into the Tennessee River after taking off from Island Home Airport after the UT Georgia game. A Middle Tennessee father, mother, and 15-year-old son died. New at 11, a huge black bear is dead after trying to cross the interstate in Cock County. A 911 dispatch operator tells us a car ran over the bear on I-40 in Cock County. Happened just after 9 near mile marker 446. A motorcycle then ran over the bear too. That driver was taken to the hospital in Newport. Nobody else was hurt. 2 years after the mayor created a citizen panel to watch over police, some say Knoxville still has a police brutality problem. About 20 people marched from East Knoxville downtown to coincide with a rally in New York. While complaints against the cops are sharply down since the panel was created, some say brutality continues. Police were invited to respond to the group and let them into the city-county building for a meeting, but police were not there. With the presidential election barely 2 weeks away, local Bush and Gore supporters are pointing fingers at each other. Both sides say that their campaign signs are being torn down. While Bush headquarters says this is not a big problem, Gore supporters say it's awful.
All over town. It's like an epidemic. It's worse than it's ever been.
But that's to be expected. People do that, and I don't think it's any more widespread this election. It's probably less widespread now than it is during county elections.
Both sides agree the sign stealing should stop. One tip, if you have a sign in your yard, you could bring it inside at night. Meanwhile, South Doyle Middle School makes plans to host Governor Bush. Today was cleanup day. The governor is expected to visit the school Tuesday, his second recent visit to Gore's home state. Bush plans a town hall-style meeting with the students. They'll also learn about the intense security that follows around presidential candidates. Well, if you want to see the governor Tuesday, you can't just show up. You need a ticket, but they are free, and they're at the Bush headquarters on Kingston Pike. It is first come, first serve. You can get them starting at 8 tomorrow morning, limit 2 per person. Well, someone else trying to win an election this year is, of course, the First Lady. Hillary Clinton, looking for all the help she can get in the New York Senate race against Rick Lazio. Today, her husband did his part, campaigning for her and other Democrats in Johnson City, New York. The president compared the race to a weather report, saying if Democrats make their message clear instead of cloudy, they'll win. No word on whether Al Gore will invite the president to campaign openly for him. New at 11, an accidental shooting at a gun show this weekend. Police say a man brought a loaded gun into the show. It accidentally went off and the bullet hit the man in the leg. He's in stable condition. This is Tulsa, Oklahoma. The gun owner was arrested. The show's organizers say, like all guns, this one was checked at the gate but was incorrectly marked unloaded. It was a very special Sunday for members of a North Knoxville church that was at the center of a bitter power struggle. The New Beverly Baptist Church held its first service today since the conflict went to court. Many members of the New Beverly Baptist Church choir and congregation worshiped here as children, but haven't attended a service here in nearly 10 years. They left after Pastor Don Ownby brought his ultra-conservative style. But when he changed the name and tried to sell it to a developer, they came back and sued. Ownby canceled services after a parking lot confrontation between members new and old.
We only have 4 or 5 people that was originally here in 1955 that came up to this wooded lot and prayed and dedicated this to God. And we're trying to keep that heritage on and keep them memories on and keep this church alive and keep it going.
Last month, Ownby agreed to give the church back to the original members, who paid him $15,000 and took over the mortgage. After a small facelift, the original New Beverly Baptist Church was born.
If you've ever been away from home for a while, and then you were able to come back home, then that's how I feel today. I have truly come back home.
Now, as their children worship here, the trustees still face challenges. They're searching for a preacher, and the congregation is a fraction of what it once was.
We're starting over here today, and as long as they come to worship God in this church, everyone's welcome to come.
The members have faith that Jesus will bring them in.
He is the light of our world, and I praise his name today.
Church leaders say members of the group they bought the church from are welcome to come back. Well, teens, more than any other group, like to take risks. New research shows that the reason may literally be in their heads. Here's Clay Thomas with an answer to why teens often push the limits.
It's a sense of freedom, I guess.
For Children First, I'm Clay Thomas.
And for more information on this Children's First, go to our website at WATE.com and click on the Children First icon. Well, it's an extra day in space for astronauts aboard the shuttle Discovery. It couldn't land as scheduled because of high winds at Kennedy Space Center. The shuttle's been orbiting for more than a week now. The crew working on the International Space Station, testing out new space gear. Weather permitting, touchdown is expected tomorrow afternoon. Well, you know, they could land that thing here. There's nothing happening here.
That's right. It's dry, not much wind, and maybe they should switch it to here.
Okay.
I have to suggest
we need to build a big runway, though.
I think we need to. Our weather has been very, very quiet and very dry, and these temperatures very unusual for this time of the year. Another warm night, temperatures in the low to mid 60s at 7:49. And of course, Brennan, the two big stories on people's mind, the warm temperature is going to continue, and is it ever going to rain? And we'll check out your 6-day forecast in just a few minutes.
You'll have to wait.
That's right.
Thank you, Bob. Well, the stats continue adding up for former Vol Peyton Manning. Scott Finley has the highlights on our check of sports. Scott?
Well, Brennan, he's thrown for over 2,000 yards now and in just 7 games. Not a bad start for Peyton Manning to the season. And Peyton having to lead another comeback today. This one against the Patriots got Indy going early with 2. Count them, 2 touchdown passes to Marvin Harrison. Manning throws for a total of 3 touchdown passes, 268 yards. Colts with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to beat New England 30-23. Later in the newscast, we'll show you how the Titans did today, and there's concern for one of their top offensive stars. Also, the new polls are out. Find out if the Vols are back in the top 25. And NASCAR running at The Rock today. All that for you, Brennan, coming up in a bit.
All right, thank you, Scott. And that is 11 minutes of nonstop news, weather, and sports. Still ahead, local kids spend the day at the zoo learning how character counts. And the Vols have beaten Bama 6 straight years. Of course, there was a time when the tide would flood Knoxville on a regular basis. But first, the rest of our forecast.
And the very, very dry weather look like they're going to continue. A beautiful time to check out the fall colors, but we have just had a trace of rain at the airport this entire month.
I didn't notice any.
You need to do a rain dance.
That's right. We keep talking about it.
We keep talking about it.
Thank you, Bob. Well, it is time for tonight's time capsule, inspired by yesterday's win over Bama, the 6th in a row for the Vols. Well, 20 years ago, UT had lost 9 in a row to the Crimson Tide, and with good reason, UT fans did not like Bama coach Bear Bryant, and it showed in a peculiar way. Here's Larry Smith's report from this week in 1980.
You're liable to see most anything on the UT campus, especially during Beat Bama week.
Go, Vols, go! Go, Vols, go! Go, Vols, go!
Yep, an honest-to-goodness modified New Orleans-style funeral for none other than the Bear himself.
This started about, I'd say back in 1974, there's a guy named Bo Frady from Loudon, Tennessee, and he was really responsible for it. It's something that we try to get the students fired up for the for the Alabama football game. We do it every year that Alabama comes to Tennessee, and it's we enjoy doing it. It's it's just we're trying to do something for the university.
It turns out the Bear wasn't quite gone yet. The deceased had just enough left to offer a few thoughts on the game.
Maybe Alabama might win by about. We'll get a field goal in there and win it in the last second.
All right, Bear, lay yourself to rest then.
Thank you.
Larry Smith, TV6 Eyewitness News.
Well, the mocking didn't help. Bear Bryant and his Crimson Tide arrived alive and well and rolled over the Vols 27-0 that year. They won again in 1981, but in 1982, the Vols broke the streak. That was Bear Bryant's last year. Sadly, he passed away a few months later. Well, still ahead, 2 men reported missing this weekend from 2 different counties. One is found dead. Police are looking for the other. Plus, the Titans lose one of the biggest stars today, and it was quite a jolt for this ball and Saturday's game against Bama. Scott Finley with all that in sports.
6 Eyewitness News continues with Brennan Robinson and Yvette Martinez.
No peeking. Did we eat pot roast for dinner tonight?
Yes. Just like leftovers, Meet the Parents is back for the third straight week in the #1 spot at the box office. Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro bringing in $16.3 million this weekend. In second place, Bedazzled, a remake of the 1960s comedy starring Dudley Moore and Raquel Welch, $13.7 million. Number 3 is the new drama Pay It Forward with $10.2 million. A Cumberland County man reported missing for 2 days is dead. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Department says they found the man's body in a dry creek bed late this afternoon. Billy Smith left his home on a four-wheeler Friday just before dark with a cooler and a chainsaw. An autopsy will determine how he died. The Newport Police Department hopes there's better news in their missing person case. Jeff Eubank left his home on Robinson Street this morning. He does take medication, and his family believes it alters his thinking. He has brown hair, hazel eyes, wears glasses, and has a mustache. Please call the Newport Police if you've seen him. Well, hundreds of folks spent the day at the Knoxville Zoo celebrating character. The YMCA awarded 6 local kids the 2000 American Youth Character Award. 6WATE was happy to be a part of this year's ceremony. More than 50 young people were nominated through letters and recommendations. There's Lori Tucker, and that came from schools and others who work closely with kids. The American Youth Character Awards promote 6 pillars of the Character Counts program. Those are trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. Well, Scott is here, and he represents all of those. And, you know, Paul's got to watch out for their punter. He's got to look where he's going.
Yeah, they need to make sure that he doesn't get roughed up anymore, because he's having a pretty injury type of season with the stress fracture and then what happened to him yesterday. We'll check in with David Leverton in a second. The Titans getting more banged up today as well, and this time it's one of their biggest stars, making for quite a challenge against the Ravens, but thank goodness for that defense. We're back with the stuff in a minute. In the SEC East, so a great season for them. In the World Series right now, the Yankees 6-2 in the 9th over the Mets. If they win this game, they'll be up 2-0 in that series.
Yep, hard to come back from that.
Yep.
Thanks, Scott. Well, still ahead, why more than 300 people took the plunge and why the law is looking the other way.
6WATE.
Ready, set, go!
The third weekend in October may be the Tennessee-Alabama game, but in Charleston, West Virginia, it's Bridge Day. Daredevils from around the world show up to jump off the New River Gorge. That's a 876-foot drop straight down into the water. They do have a parachute, of course. They've been doing this for 21 years. It is the only day when it is actually legal to dive off a bridge. They have a good lobbyist in the state capitol there.
I'm still dizzy, sorry.
That's right. Well, you can tell us the weather, though, can't you?
Well, actually warm enough to do a little swimming.
Yeah.
Temperatures are way above normal. Some patchy fog, a few clouds, about 57 degrees for sunrise. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures getting back into the 70s, around 76 by sunset, and a warm week coming up.
All right, thank you, Bob. And thank you for counting on 6 Eyewitness News. The George Michael Sports Machine is up next. Have a great night.